Good evening. So me, Doomer. I seen an article on Facebook today where they're talking about the trucking. I don't know if it was the state or the House is voting on to increase the truck insurance to $2 million policies. Are you crazy? Right now, I have my own trucking company. I own my own trucking rights. I have one truck I own. I drive for a living, and I have Progressive insurance on my truck. And I have a $1 million policy, and it's $21,000 a year. $21,000 a year. Think about that. So if you increase it to $2 million, it's going to definitely make that policy go through the roof. And it would be okay if you did do something like that if the trucking rates would. Right now we're here. You're going to do this. Okay. So you're going to raise the insurance, and then the trucking rates are going to go up, and I'm going to make a little bit more money, and they're going to charge the people, and then your bread instead of being 325 is going to be 425, and your hamburgers instead of now because of people wanting $15 an hour, a hamburger's 12.50 is going to be 15.50. So the whole world around you is going to go up because trucks have everything to do with everything there is. There's nothing that a truck doesn't do. You can't buy anything or get anything or do anything that a truck driver hasn't touched, moved, looked at, hauled, or whatever you want to say. We did, we're doing you. Without us, you're dead. You can't feed yourself, you can't feed your family, you can't go to school because there's no books. I mean, there's just nothing without truckers. So now let's pick on the truckers and let's raise the insurance to $2 million policies. That makes good sense, considering that I've been driving a truck on and off since 1976. And for my first 5 years, I was hauling steel. I 1 year got about 3 or 4 accidents. They were all rear enders because I had a long nosed Kenworth and I was working crazy long hours to make money. And I would fall asleep basically at the wheel. And when I look up, the light has changed green, and I can't see the car in front of me because I was too close. So I would start going, and boom, I'd hit him. I hit a couple the very first years when I was first learning. Can't lie, I'm guilty. I was tired, working long hours, the long nose Kenworth, allowing myself to get too close, couldn't even see a car. So the light's changing, and he's sleeping there at the light too. So I wake up before him and I start going forward and boom, hit him. But that was back in the 70s. This is 2020. I haven't had zero accidents, zero in more than 50 years, close to 50 years. No accidents, nothing. So why do I have to go to $2 million on the cargo insurance when the freight that I haul is nowhere near nothing like that? Because I'm not hauling any electronics at all. I'm not, and I'm not hauling hazmat. So my entire load is not worth that. So why do I need a $2 million liability? Because maybe they're afraid I'm going to run over Black Lives Matter people or something stupid like that. I'm not going to do that. So why do I have to go to $2 million? That don't make sense to me. Is it the insurance company saying, "Oh, we need to get more money out of these guys"? How much can you squeeze out of me? As an owner operator, how can you do that? I mean, how many owner operators are out there? There's a lot of us. I see us every day. And I know who's owner operators and who ain't. We can't afford that. Trucking rates are dropping. They're not going up. They haven't been going up. They've been going down. These freaking brokers are killing us here. They're, they get a decent rate and then they cut it big time and say, hey, I only get $1.40 a mile. When I started driving back in the 70s, it was $1.25 a mile. On a backhaul, you can get a backhaul for probably close to $1 a mile. Back in the 70s, this is 2020, and they still want to give you the same rate. What's wrong with people? Especially when I got a $21,000 insurance policy, I got to pay before I even could start my. No, trucking companies have to have that policy before they can get their through the FMCA. Before you can get your authorities, you have to have the insurance. So you got to have your policy first, and then you can get your authorities. If they cancel your insurance at any time, it automatically cancels your authorities. They're hand in hand. The government and the insurance companies are hand in hand. So it's not like, well, I could trick you and I could bullshit you around with my insurance. No, you can't. You get canceled. If you get in an accident, and I already know someone who did that, you lose your insurance. They don't renew you, they cancel you. And there's not a whole lot of companies out there that are insurance truckers right now. I wonder why. You know why? Oh, that's another video. That's about car haulers, and I don't want to get into that right now because I'm kind of irritated. But $2 million policies, we can't afford that. The state needs to stop this. If it's the government pushing this, stop it. We can't. You can't do this. You're going to kill us. You're killing us now with the cost of diesel fuel. Seriously. Especially when a lot of people don't know this. My Freightliner gets about 6 miles per gallon. 6. Now the newer trucks, some of them get 8, 7, 6, 8, some maybe 9, I doubt it, but 8 miles per gallon. That's a little bit better, but that's still not a lot. So you got to figure if you're doing 2,000 or 2,500 miles a week, and that's not a real lot of mileage, considering that you're only making $1.70 or 80 a mile, because a lot of people ain't getting this $3 a mile like before. You're not. And the guys who do get good money for it is like tankers, but then your percentage that you get paid from the company that you're leased onto is they take quite a bit out of that, so you're not getting the whole thing. So it's this. So please, when you think about that policy, and I'll post a picture of my policy, not my personal stuff, but I can show you the $21,000. I will. I'll attach it to the video to where you can see that. So are we mad? Truckers are mad. It's bad enough with all this stuff going on. You guys need to stop this $2 million policy. There's no need for that. That's insane. Don't need to do that. Anyway, it's me fuming again. Damn trucker, always getting angry at this stuff. But I'm not getting it anywhere in life. I'm getting older. My truck is getting older. I can't afford a new truck. And with insurance like that, I can't afford this truck. Good thing I don't have a payment. But still, it's unfair. By the time, you got to figure, let's see, before I start the year, I got to have a $21,000 insurance policy in place before I make any money. And then every month I got to make a payment. So think about what your down payment. I think my down payment was $4,000 or $6,000 for the policy. You got to have that up front first, and then you pay, your $1,800 a month or whatever it is. Think about that. So before I start making any money at all, I got to have this in place, and then I get to go to work and get some cheap loads. So then I make $3,000 this week. $3,000 is awesome, bro. Out of that $3,000, about $1,200 or $1,300 of that is diesel fuel. Imagine that. It's diesel fuel. So then you knock a little bit off your $3,000 and you got to put away for maintenance. It's $321 a month for an oil change. And you got to do it every month because of the mileage you're putting on that truck. Because you're pulling heavy loads, you better keep that off, put it clean. And then what about your tires? You got 10 tires on your tractor that you got to take care of. So every time that they're rolling, there's a little bit of meat coming off those because every time you roll, you're grossing 80,000 pounds with your truck. So and with our beautiful highways, you're not doing a lot. So now you got that factor in there. So now the truck is its own business. I own the truck and I own the company, but the truck itself is its own business. Now, what do you mean by that, Jim? Well, if the truck is only getting now, because we already took off $1,200, so we got $1,800 left. So we got $1,800 left, and out of that we need to put away at least 400 for maintenance or more, plus the insurance. So now, oh yeah, I forgot about IFTA and the other stuff, but we're not going to get all deep into that. But so now you say to yourself, well, your truck's got about 1,200, so you get $1,200 out of that $3,000. Wrong answer. Your truck can't pay you and let you have that 1,200. Your truck is a business of its own. It's got to have that reserve money for when there's a breakdown, and there's going to be a breakdown. There's without a doubt going to be a breakdown. So your truck's got to say, Jim, I can only give you, since I love you, I'll give you 35 cents a mile, bud. So 35 cents a mile, and I did 2,500 or 3,000 miles or whatever it is. And then that's all you're allowed to get. I don't get the 1,200. I see the 1,200, but then my truck says you can't have that. I got to pay you as a driver. And then you got to do your own taxes, and I'm not doing I'm not doing any part of that. I'm going to 1099 you. Wait a minute, I'm the boss here. I own the business. Truck says I don't care. I'm a business too. So increase our insurance to $2 million policies is going to absolutely kill the small guy. But think about it. I mean, these big trucking companies, the only ones that are going to survive is going to be the guys who have their own insurance, who do their own insurance, like Quality Carriers and JB. I don't know if JB does, but those. So what's going to happen is guys like me, we're dead because we can't do that. And how can I afford to do that? And I can't work for them, so and they're never going to take me on. So I'm out of business, bud. So think about that. How much does the truckers really make? Not a lot. We're barely scraping by. We're not rich. And then just think about how many we're eating 3 meals a day out on the roads and we're sleeping in a freaking truck. So every time that you go to the store and you buy another bag of groceries, think about the poor trucker who's probably divorced because he's not home and she's cheating on him or whatever. I yield back.